Yo, what's up? Finally, after weeks of waiting, we get a detailed plan about the future of Enlisted, containing information regarding every aspect of the future of Enlisted. Because that future looked very grimdark during 2025. So, yep, prepare for a long situation report. So long I actually had to read this one before making the video. Usually I can just do them live in one go, but here it definitely made sense to read it. So yep, you're gonna get the fast version now. The fast version still will take a while because, once again, this is a very long situation report, and most importantly, some of that is good and true, other things are clear distractions and the usual corporate pink that you see. So yeah, I'm gonna decipher everything here. And we start with the typical yapping. Yeah, Gaijin loves you and Gaijin likes reading your stuff. No company loves reading thousands of posts every day in social media. First of all, it takes forever. Secondly, most of the yapping on social media is bullshit yapping. Thirdly, it costs money, and even if you spend the money and time to get it read by random people, now these random people have to condense the information and report it to someone who can actually make decisions, who is even less interested in dealing with that. So no, companies don't love reading that bullshit. And the approach of companies filtering through thousands of messages every day, trying to get good information to make the game better instead of just, well, knowing how to make the game that the company owns better by itself, yeah, which way is better? Now, obviously, if there's severe lashback or lash out by the community, yeah, that obviously has to be read. But yeah, here's this typical mistake. If companies in 2025, where people finally got less retarded than the previous 5 years, if they still write stuff like that, it's just cringe. It's just very cringe because no adult person takes it serious anymore. But okay, then what about the roadmap? For those new to the game, in 2024, I think end of 2024, or roughly, yeah, around 2024, there was a roadmap added. I think it was beginning of 2024, there was a 2024 roadmap added. And I repeated the word 2024 on purpose because it's a 2024 roadmap. This roadmap still wasn't completed in 2025. In fact, 2025 didn't get its own roadmap. So we're still on the 2024 roadmap that wasn't completed 2 years later, almost. Yep, and guess what? This headline was changed, as you can see by the clearly different type of letters relative to the rest, and the shading is different, and so on. Because it used to say 2024 roadmap. So, well, this 2024 roadmap that everyone asked about, when is Gaijin gonna finish it? And when are we gonna get a 2025 roadmap? Well, here Gaijin yaps that, yeah, it wasn't a good idea to put on these roadmaps because they basically can't manage the time when they are completed, and instead you're gonna get more little posts about what is gonna come in the next weeks and months instead of doing roadmaps. Yep, so this is basically that paragraph. Yeah, now, the big statement here is also that the whole roadmap is completed except for 3 points. Yeah, well, this is simply not true. Things like the free releases were completed, yes, after 2 attempts. Then account linking system improved. Maybe this I know in the beginning, people had severe issues linking their accounts. I didn't hear any questions about it since a long time, so I guess that was completed too. Now, other things were also completed, but here's the first thing. A new engineer built AT guns for high BR. Well, 2 nations still don't have their own models. Better game descriptions for mechanics. Also completely wrong, because the weapon stats still don't show multiple hidden stats that are very important, but that are simply hidden. Tanks still don't properly show you all types of ammunition you can get, and the reload speed and so on, and the stat sheet and so on. You still have to search across the whole game and in outside resources. So this was just sloppily made, to be very polite. Then converting excess screenshots into silver. Yep, that was done, though at an extremely bad rate. Then, there's one big thing. One big thing was done. I saw here that simply was option to postpone booster. Well, this was obviously completely fucked up with the boosters. That was it. Then combat events. Well, we've seen the events in the previous weeks and months that were ass. Then preferred map system. That was the point I forgot. This is a complete disaster. Calling this solved is just ridiculous. This is one of the biggest bullshit points in the whole game, that the so-called map preference system even is being talked about still. No, this is a complete bullshit system. It needs to be reworked. Absolutely. It simply doesn't work. You can pick maps and you can download maps, but it won't give you what you want. And people have said that forever, and no one takes it serious. Also, if you watch my streams, you can see in my streams live every week that the system doesn't work. I uploaded my personal map preferences in the video, and they are one-on-one the same basically as a few months ago, and they simply don't work. So this is just ridiculous. Then penalties for deserters. Well, you mean penalties for new players, because old players don't care about it, because we still can't choose our maps. So old players just leave whatever map they don't like. But new players get fucked because they rely on the experience. Calling this solved is also bullshit, and so on. So yeah, this is just ridiculous. But yeah, nothing here can be taken serious as long as these crucial points are not properly done. Now, 3 points, Gaijin says, are specifically in the working, a new front line. Yeah, this is the one good news about this whole post here that I'm glad to dive into in a few seconds. Then ability to invite friends into ongoing battles. This was scrapped because obviously a bunch of sweatlords would abuse it to just create ridiculously unfair games. And that's why it says here in the article it won't be added to the game. That makes sense. I've said it multiple times already in past videos. General rule of statistics: the smaller your sample size, the higher variance you can expect. This means for Enlisted, the smaller the player base, the higher the variance you can expect of the player base being very good or very toxic. For Enlisted, it's very toxic. So that's why you have lots of infinite fucking toxicity in this community. Well, you don't see it here in my channel because we have the nicest and best people, but almost everywhere else you can see the complete brain rot. And same is true here. All the brain rot kiddies would just start chaining their sweatlord friends into matches to pile against new random players who are solo queuing. So yeah, this feature would make no sense. It would make the game worse. Similar to the feature that Gaijin introduced a few weeks ago, where every sweatlord can hide his name and act like he's some random bot, and then these sweatlords queue together, and then they once again play against solo players without these solo players noticing it. Yep, that's another dig move by Gaijin, though Gaijin doesn't address it. As well as many other things that Gaijin doesn't address, even though Gaijin stated a few minutes ago how Gaijin loves reading all your yapping on social media. Yes. Alright, then keyboard and mouse assist. Yeah, this is a very important, especially if it's intelligently implemented, and Gaijin says it's still working on that. And it won't come out this year likely, but maybe next year. Yeah, I guess it's very complicated to do, and there are many things changing. Yeah, whatever. Alright, so let's go to the next. So this point is complete ass. You can forget about it. Now the next point. What about the next big update? It's still not clearly stated it's going to be a new campaign, but it's implied as directly as it can be. So yep, you can expect a new campaign. I've been saying for over 1 year now that we need Manchuria and that we will get Manchuria very likely for trillions of reasons. Most importantly, it's quite easy to do because you already have the two involved nations, Soviets and Japanese, in the game. And it's great for the queue and matchmaking system because the more flexibility you have between who nations play against, the easier the queues are. That's why it's so good to have Germany fight against basically everyone, because you can always throw German players know where they're needed the most. But you can't do that with Soviets and Japanese. But with this campaign in the game, you will be able to do it. So yeah, this is going to be great. And also it's going to be interesting to see, just to finally play with both nations against someone else, because they're only fighting against the same enemies, and it gets boring. Also, Manchuria campaign, I don't know whether any game ever had that. Now, finally, a game is going to have it. And I'm definitely sure no game with proper combined arms warfare had it. So yeah, Enlisted can call itself the first game ever to have a proper Manchuria campaign. No, Hearts of Iron doesn't count. It doesn't count. And here is the thing. They try to play a riddle game as I do with you every week. And if you haven't done so yet, check out my current video picture from a map where, yeah, I'm going to spoiler you because I'm going to post a new one soon. It's Stalingrad. It's the Repvikin house or whatever it's called. And I'm literally sitting on the toilet, hiding in this little toilet room from the artillery. So, yeah, and Gaijin plays the same game here. Now, what can we see here? Now, I still have my screensaver on, so my screen is extremely orange, so you won't really see that image that well. So open it up for yourself. And what I see is, I see lots of uneven terrain, I see lots of bushes, I see pine trees, and I see hills and mountains or whatever. And very rugged nature area. This is literally Manchuria. This is literally Manchuria during autumn. And the battles took place during autumn and winter, and this is exactly how Manchuria looks. I would have expected more bushes, but yeah, but Gaijin for some reason still doesn't understand that nature has lots of ground covered, usually in grass and bushes, because here it looks like it's, well, okay, still. Yeah, this looks a lot like Manchuria. Absolutely. Fun fact, this also looks like Hürtgen Forest in Hell Let Loose. So, yeah, if the tree density was tripled, you literally would get Hürtgen Forest. But yeah, so yeah, this is quite cool. I'm very sure this is gonna be Manchuria. So prepare for that. Also prepare for more direct news about it this week. Now, there's a little questionnaire here. I first thought, oh, I literally don't bother voting, but then I read the point here and I thought, wait, you better vote for this, because Gaijin asks you, do you wanna... Well, Gaijin first of all announces there's gonna be more decals added to Enlisted. And Gaijin tries to gaslight you by saying, oh, our friends at War Thunder crafted them. Working with our friends over at War Thunder, we have crafted a set of new historical decals. Dudes, you literally just copy-pasted them from War Thunder to Enlisted. So I mean, this is what it's about, that Enlisted can get all the War Thunder assets more or less for free. I mean, this is one of the main reasons why... This is one of the most main USPs of Enlisted, that it gets all the War Thunder assets. And this is the only thing that keeps Enlisted remotely competitive, by the way, because other companies who want to do similar games need to do all the vehicle modeling completely from scratch, which obviously costs time and money. But Enlisted already gets everything for free, so yeah, the same thing is true for decals. Don't tell me Gaijin or Enlisted specifically makes decals for new stuff. Come on, this is ridiculous. This is not like... I mean, I would believe it that Counter-Strike reworked with the new engine from Counter-Strike 2 all the surface model decals to make them work on the new engine. I wouldn't be surprised if Counter-Strike spent 1 million or whatever, or 2 million in reworking all the graphics. But come on, I won't believe that from Gaijin. Definitely not. Now, here's the question Gaijin asks. Do you want all of those new nation-specific decals like the German Balkenkreuz and other nation stuff? Do you want them to be usable by all nations or not? For those who can't believe what I just asked, yep, Gaijin literally offers you to vote yes to let every nation use every nation's decals. With the joke that, oh, it's like a captured or it's like a spy vehicle. Like, no, dude. Yeah, I voted no, and I think the majority, like, I don't know, 70% said no. I mean, it's already stupid as hell, and there's no historical reason to do it. It just makes the game more childish. So yeah, this is a stupid vote. Here's my personal thinking. I think Gaijin just wanted to include a questionnaire like that because that's what every random company does now. Oh, we need to make a simple vote where like these types of votes that are so obviously brain dead, easy, and one-sided, they're usually put on social media to manipulate you, to making it seem like, oh, the company agrees with you, and oh, the company gives you what you want. Yeah, it's like saying, oh, do you like getting paid more, or do you want to be paid less? Let us know. And then of course everyone says yes, except for a few dumps, and or a few contrarians, and then people say, oh, this company understands me. Yes, this company finally knows what I like. Finally a company that understands that I like to get paid more and not less. Yeah, this is the same bullshit. Yeah, come on. And here's the thing. I'm very sure that War Thunder, if for some reason the people at Gaijin are so dumb to not understand it, and they actually ask seriously, I'm quite sure the same thing was already asked at War Thunder, and I'm quite sure the answers were very similar. So yeah. But okay, then next thing. Well, at least the headline puns are quite good, because some of them are actually funny. Now, many people complained about bomb defusing and planting not giving any experience, which is obviously dumb as hell, because planting a bomb is extremely hard. First you need to get safely to the point, and then you need to survive for like 20 seconds. And defusing requires the same. So you're completely undefended, and it should give you a lot of experience. Guess what? In Counter-Strike, nothing gives more points than planting or defusing. By far. It's the most point-yielding action you can do. Same thing should be in Enlisted, but Enlisted never gave you those fucking points. And now, I think, beginning of this week, or end of last week, we got the update, I think it was literally Monday, that defusing is gonna take less time, or whatever. Okay, good. And now that there's also the update that it's gonna give you points for planting and defusing. Alright, now here's the problem though. Remember when I said, nope, Gaijin doesn't like reading your stuff online? People have been telling Gaijin since the 3.5 years I'm playing this game to fucking let people get points for defusing and planting. It's been posted 1 trillion times. 1 trillion times. Gaijin never reacted to that. So don't try to tell me, oh, Gaijin loves reading your bullshit. No, if that was the key, like this is such an obvious idiotic lie. If such completely obvious game mechanics were fucked up for years and not properly managed. Also, is he holding a grease gun? Because I mean, this looks like a mix of grease gun and MP40. Like, this looks ugly. It definitely looks like an ugly weapon. Oh my god. If it's an MP40, it looks to... I think it's a grease gun, actually. Yeah. I mean, yeah, very ugly, but okay. Well, okay, then there's going to be stats updates, or in your stats sheet that you can see in your account, about, well, a few more detailed kills. Now, the one funny thing about all of this is that you're going to get a specific stat for killing curious tank commanders. So whenever a tank commander peeks out of his turret, you hit him, and you're gonna get a nice increase of curious tank commander kills. So yep, that's quite cool. Yep, let's see how many we can rank up of those. Then there's gonna be a rating system. Gaijin calls it rating indicator, which is basically a way to estimate the strength of a player. And it's going to be a number between roughly 0 and 1000. It says the lowest is 190, the highest is currently 900. Why not 1000? I mean, if your formula is such that it creates these two thresholds, just change the fucking formula. No one wants a system that ends at 900. Come on. Like, why isn't it 1000? But okay. Okay, I mean, and if it's obviously not an elo-based system, because then it would be unlimited. At least in theory. And here's how it works. It takes into account how many games you play, how many you win, how many you leave, how often you get medals, how high you place at the end of a game, your KD, and other things. Alright? Alright. Now, this is overall okay. I proposed the formula for the same thing, for like player strength, for matchmaking purposes, but you can also simply not use it for matchmaking, just give the player number. Around 1 year ago, that is based on medals, because I figured out that out of all metrics you can use, medals are the most precise one. They're the most precise one to estimate how good a player is, and they also exclude lots of manipulation things. Because you can, for example, manipulate KD by just sitting in a tank or sitting in a plane. You can do many other things, you can manipulate other things, but medals are the least manipulatable. Because if you're sitting in a plane the whole game and you won't get shot down, yeah, you likely get, you're gonna get a few medals for sure, but someone who's a good infantry player will get more medals. And this is not hackable, this is not manipulatable, this is not, yeah, like the medals are simply, I was surprised myself, the most the most reliable source of data like that. But Gaijin has its own approach now here, with all of this thrown together. Obviously Gaijin doesn't give us the exact formula, which is bad, because it just be open. Also, if there are multiple factors in this formula, every factor has a weight. So if you can weight everything with type times 1, or you can weight stuff with times 0.5, so you weight it half as much as other things, or type 0.1 or type 1.5, so you weight 1.5 times as much, so whatever. Yeah, these formulas should be open. But okay, also this is not Counter-Strike where it makes sense that the formulas are hidden. No, this is literally just a random game. So just fucking give us the formula. Now, it's fine, I personally don't even care about that, but there's one problem here. It says win rate, including wins, losses, and matches which are player deserted. Now, does it say, well, it obviously needs to exclude desertions within like the first 15 or 20 seconds or 30 seconds. Obviously something like the first 30 seconds or first 1 minute optimally. Because once again, people leave your maps because your maps suck. So if the problem is, first of all, the number is wrong if you want to get precise data on how strong a player is. Players who leave maps that they don't like, if the rating drops because of that, the rating will be bad and wrong. You just have a shit formula. There's no excuse for being bad at math. Come on. And secondly, if this is used for matchmaking, woohoo, now people can smurf by using this stupidly coded formula, because you can just reduce your ranking by just leaving multiple 10 maps in a row, and tada, now you're gonna ruin some medium players, average player's day, because you're gonna stomp him, because now you're actually staying in a good map. Yeah, so this is just, either it's stupidly worded because the formula might be right, it has the like 1 minute grace time, or it doesn't. Well, it definitely needs to be added. It definitely needs to be added, because otherwise it's just a stupid way to do it. But yeah, well, fun fact, our last stream was extremely comfy because we barely didn't leave any bad maps. I think we stayed in like, for the first 3 games, we stayed instantly in every match, I think. And only then we had to leave, but I think we only left like half of our maps. So we had a lucky day, because usually we have to leave like 60, 70, 80% of all maps, because we get the bad maps non-stop. Alright, then, premium squads are being made great again. Is it true, or is it just a promise, like in other aspects of life? Well, actually this is true, and I was surprised that this actually makes sense. Now, as you might have seen in my sales guides, that many squads, especially all premium squads, have the issue of very bad perks. Now, I know that especially new players don't take this serious and they think, oh, perks don't matter. What matters is a big gun, and that's all that matters. I don't care if a squad only has 4 soldiers, and as perks, it has a big gun, so it must be a good squad. So I'm gonna pay $60 for it. Well, kitty, yes, this might be an approach, but that's the best way to get disappointed and then rage uninstall the game because you just wasted money on a shit squad that gets stomped by, well, every squad that is available in the game for free already in the tech tree. Here's the problem. Some perks are absolutely essential. If you get a red perk penalty and you cannot buy or you cannot equip Vitality on a soldier, this is going to be an issue, especially if it's a short-range fighter like an assaulter. Or if you have a tank or pilot and he can't get the essential tank or pilot perks, that's also a serious issue. Or if it's some form of weak soldier anyway, like soldiers who only get level 2s, like engineers, radiomen, and tank gunners, and they get slapped by additional penalties, this is bad as it gets. And many old perks, many old event and premium squads simply had, for no reason at all in the post-merge world, ridiculous penalties on their perks. Now, this is about to be removed because it says Gaijin wants to improve these squads. I've been saying that for years. I've been telling Gaijin, alright Gaijin, you obviously want to sell as many of these premium squads as possible. Well, just make them suck less. Many squads sucked because they had fucking perk penalties. And I remember in the beginning of the year, multiple squads are on the verge of being good, but they're simply not good, they're bad. And they're not even in between. No, they're straight up, they drop from being potentially good to straight up bad because they have severe penalties. If you just remove these fucking penalties, the squads will become, all of a sudden, really good and fun. And this is exactly what's going to happen now. All the negative perk numbers will be deleted and they just will be 0. This means if you have a squad that says it has -2 red, +14 yellow, and -6 green, these negative numbers all get deleted and it just will be 0. And now you have, after the change, 0 for red, +14 for yellow, and 0 for green. Tada! You now get effectively +8 perk points because the -8 was deleted, and here's the good part: you're left with the +14. You're left with the +14, and I just noticed. Oh my god! I just noticed it's literally the bum sniper squad, the bum German sniper Gewehr 41 squad that I had to reprimand every single sales guide for how bad it is. I remember buying it last Christmas because the squad looks very cool, and I was so disappointed. I very rarely in my life put a squad into a lineup and then just never played it again. I remember months later I tried it again and I just kicked it out again because the squad just ass. It just ass. But guess what? Not anymore. This is now one of the most overperked squads in the game because here's the fun part. Usually there's a limit on how many plus points you get. A normal soldier has, like the perk system in Enlisted works in a way that every soldier has 16, 16, 16, and then if you're a level 1 soldier you get +1 in every color, so +3 overall. If you're level 2 you get +6, if you're level 3 you get +9, and if you're an assaulter 4 you get +12. This is the basic system, and depending on the class you get additional pluses or minuses, so you get specializations in specific colors. Okay, cool system. By the way, I like that a lot about Enlisted. When I started playing the game, I really liked the perk system. Even though it was a bit strange, it was still fun to customize your soldiers. Because this is what you do as a commander if you're in basic training and you're training your goons so they don't die on the first day on the front line. Well, there are things you practice more and other things less. If you want them to be very good and proficient at guns, you have to practice shooting, reloading, repairing and other things a lot. But this also means you practice less time with something like fitness or climbing or swimming. So everything is a compromise. And this is exactly the way it is in Enlisted. And Enlisted, for the most part, lets you choose quite well how you want to perk your soldiers, which is very good. By the way, I've been saying in Hell Let Loose, why don't you fucking let people perk your soldiers? It doesn't make any sense at all that every soldier is the same. And then you instantly get downvoted by the autists in the Hell Let Loose forum. Because, oh no, this is not realistic. Alright. I forgot. In real life, every single soldier of every nation is exactly the same. Right. Okay, okay. Sorry, Hell Let Loose players. Pardon my stupidity. Well, and this is gonna be, well, Enlisted, with this news update, I'm actually very excited. Because here's another really good advantage of this. Some squads that sucked extremely, like mentioned Reconnaissance Battalion, Snipers, Gewehr 41 squad, is gonna be really good. It's gonna have not just plus 14, which is the biggest buff in the whole game. I don't think there's any other squad that has plus 14. I think the German STG 45 squad that I love to play in BF4, I think that also might have such an extreme. I think that also might have it. That would be quite cool, actually. Now, here's the other thing. There are classes that always have a penalty. For example, tankers always have -2 red. Snipers always have -2 red or -1, whatever. Why? Because, well, Gaijin apparently doesn't want tankers to be... Well, tankers theoretically need to have some penalty so they can have more red and green, because tankers really need the red and green. So it makes sense that they have the penalty. Snipers, I think Gaijin gave them the penalty in the logic of, oh, snipers are shooting from far away, and that's why the bullets they take will deal less damage, so it is like they already have vitality. So it makes sense to give them a vitality penalty so they can't get the vitality perk, which gives them plus 25% life. Here's the cool part. Every single event and premium sniper squad in the game is now gonna be severely buffed, because they all can get vitality now. Yes, this means the sniper battalion will be good. The Soviet sniper equivalent will be very good because it actually has a good weapon. The Australian BR1 snipers for America and the Japanese BR1 snipers will also be good. Yeah, I can't wait to start equipping these squads again, because they are gonna be good. Yes. Yep, this is gonna be great. I can't wait to show you more cool stuff in the next stream. Today, by the way, I'm gonna play BR5 Germany, among other things, because someone reminded me that I should play mortars, and I thought, wait, I actually should play mortars. I didn't do in a while, and it actually is gonna be fun, because half of the time we play on maps, we can just mortar the hell out of the enemies. So yeah, let's try out that. Then, for those 3 people who still use this forum, apparently Gaijin decided months after changing the forum design to talk about it. Now here's my summary. First of all, I used to read the forum quite a lot in the past. I stopped because, well, all the reasons. Mostly very badly moderated. Not bad, it's just bad. Overall, it's just bad. And it's simply not worth anyone's time. But it's gotten completely useless when this change was made. Because, first of all, no matter how you save your link, it jumps away from latest to categories. So you can't just automatically always look at what's the newest post. Which is, by the way, the most important feature for a forum. Because most people who want to read a lot, they just want to read the new stuff, because they already read the old stuff. So you always want, for these people who are the majority of your customers reading, you want to have it on latest. But now this got changed. Instead, even on latest, it's spammed with a lot of fucking polls and other bullshit that people don't want to care, that people just don't care about. Yep, some people want to give their random opinions on every bullshit on the internet. Other people don't. And when I saw that the whole forum was spammed with fucking posts, I just stopped using it completely. Because, like, why should I dig through the ditches and burn through the Gaijin nonsense trying to find an interesting, reasonable post? No. But yeah, so alright. Then Gaijin, so this is just another fail. It's also not, I mean, no one of you reads the forum anyway, so no one cares. Then Battle Pass. Yeah, Battle Passes won't be announced 3 months earlier now. It will always be just 1 month earlier, so you'll always see what the weapon for the next Battle Pass is, and not the 3 next weapons. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, it makes... Here's the thing. I remember Gaijin did it once, somewhere beginning of the year, and this is where they announced the Scotty Naval Rifle that just was completely badly BR placed. And then Gaijin simply didn't listen. People told them, oh, this weapon is fucking too weak. change it, and then people spent weeks waiting and Gaijin didn't do anything. Yeah, so I think Gaijin itself knows that it just will fuck up, so it just reduces the amount of potential discussions by reducing the amount of weapons you can look into the future. Then here is, I just see what I will take as a thumbnail, I guess, because that looks cool. Here is a post. I don't see the reason why. I guess it's also just gaslighting. This post talks about how there's a weekly private game where people working on Enlisted play among themselves in special challenges. And then they do specific tasks in these private custom games and blah, whatever. Now, here's the thing. First of all, I don't believe that people actually do this weekly. Very surely not. Secondly, even if they did, this sounds like the exact cringe boomer bullshit that you can see in many companies, where some dumb fuck thinks that, oh, I have a good idea how to raise morale in our shitty office atmosphere where people get treated badly and people don't get paid enough. But I have a good idea, so people will forget about it. We're gonna do a funny game every week, yes. And the people are gonna love it. And then me, old boomer boss, just gets all the stress away from, because people are now distracted with these stupid games and they won't talk to me about how I constantly fuck up as a boomer boss. Yeah, this is the logic that you can see in many companies, and it's exactly as cringe as it sounds. There's nothing more cringe than a bunch of fucking Karens or boomers coming up with complete bullshit, wasting your time well, not my time, but the people I see there in the companies that I visit, well, their time is wasted, and they also can't just tell the boomer boss, fuck off, shut up, you're an idiot, I don't want to waste my time on this cringe ass bullshit. No, they have to waste their time on that, and they don't even get paid for that in most places. And this sounds exactly like that. Now, here's the biggest problem I see with that, despite the cringiness. Why the fuck doesn't the Gaijin stuff play Enlisted every day or every week? Where the fuck is the purpose in playing artificial nonsense that doesn't have anything to do with the game, doesn't have anything to do with game balance and game bugs? Why the fuck don't you just play the game where you will automatically see issues with the game and balance issues and problematic non-fun aspects of the game? Why don't you do that? Why do you do artificial cringe-ass nonsense like this? Just fucking stop. This is retarded. This is straight up, objectively speaking, idiotic and wrong. Play the fucking game you work on. Use the fucking product that you're selling. Don't use other products. If you're working on Tesla, you're not driving fucking Dodge cars every week. No, you can maybe once per month to test the competitors, but you daily use what you're selling yourself to get more experience with your products. So this is stupid as fuck. This is yeah, this is how you see that people are just idiots who don't know how to do work professionally. This is just completely stupid. Okay, then semi-autos and machine guns get buffed. Now this is good news. Well, the short summary is semi-autos are going to be more precise when shooting, and machine guns are going to be much more precise when you go down on the ground. So when you lie down on the ground, you don't need to mount anymore. You simply lying on the ground will give you a precision multiplier by, a recoil reduction of 2.5. So I guess the recoil gets divided by 2.5. Very, very good. Damn. Very good. And the semi-auto stuff was more of an issue. It says that it explained that depending on how you aimed and when you timed it, blah blah, you got hit by precision penalties. Yep, this is why, for example, the semi-auto sniper rifles suck for the most part. Not the Ghost Sniper Squad for Germany, though, in the future, as we learned. But stuff like Gewehr 41 sucks. It still sucks. It's one of the worst weapons in the game, because you're gonna literally miss half of your shots. You can be the best aimer, you can be the fastest aimer. it even works against you, because the faster you aim and shoot, the higher the precision penalty. So this is going to reduce it, and this is going to make SemiAutos more useful. Very good change. Because SemiAutos are overall, yeah, they need a buff. But not what people say, oh, they need to deal as much damage as, nah, this would be stupid. It would completely fuck up game balance, because then you need to increase damage of many other weapons too. And then the game is completely different, and it will take 2 years to rebalance the game. So no, forget about it. But SemiAutos definitely need a precision buff. Definitely. Because it's absolutely not fun to miss literally more than half of your shots because of dump-ass game mechanics. So this is a very good improvement, and the machine gun buff is also very good. I personally say if you crouch, you also should get a recoil improvement by, let's say, 1.5. Yep. So minus 33%. Yep, this would be good. Yeah, this would be actually intelligent, because that also, in real life, reduces recoil. But this is definitely already a good beginning to just reduce it if you just go down on the ground, because it makes machine guns actually more useful. Right now they are way too slow. Not that it's a problem, but the problem is that SMGs and assault rifles are way too fast relative to machine guns. And machine guns are way too weak in terms of damage relative to assault rifles. So yeah, machine guns definitely need updates. And then, this is ridiculously funny, because this is, once again, it's a common theme here in this post. Whenever it starts with cringe as nonsense, then it gets bad, then it's better, then it gets bad again, then it gets better, then it gets bad again. We just had one good thing, so expect, yes, you know what to expect. People were complaining about meteors being too strong. Yes, meteors definitely were too strong. Now, why were meteors too strong? Everyone literally agreed, because they have insanely retarded, unrealistic, super brain-dead, overpowered turn rates. These experimental World War II jets, meaning the very first jets ever built for some nations, of which they were so bad that you just quickly, some of them were used, yeah, quickly during World War II, but right after World War II, they were all scrapped, because you just wanted to get something actually good. And you didn't need to use it because you were under pressure. These jets, for some reason, for the Meteor, he had a turn rate like a World War I biplane. Which had, well, the best turn rates imaginable. For some reason, a jet has the same turn rate as a biplane. Yes, apparently Gaijin engineers got drunk again. And people told me that even in War Thunder it doesn't have the same turn rate. So some dumb fuck copied the Meteor from War Thunder and gooned around with the stats of the plane. And then we got this issue. Now, what does Gaijin do to nerf this problem? Gaijin, of course, addresses the issue right where it matters and nerfs the bombs. Wait, what? Yes, Gaijin doesn't nerf the actual problem of a jet out-turning every plane in the game, meaning you cannot realistically defeat this jet because it's faster than every normal plane, it's better maneuverable than every normal plane, and it shreds better than every normal plane. No, this is not getting addressed, instead the bombs get nerfed. Aha, alright. Well, guess you cannot, well, you can... You can take the Gopnik out of Gaijin, but you can't take Gaijin out of the Gopnik, it seems. And this is why the Gopnik keeps doing these decisions. And he's still sitting at Gaijin, so yeah, whatever. Well, yep. But don't worry, the shooting star, I think, keeps its bombs, so at least one plane is still going to keep its big, fun bombs. Then, there's going to be more fashion. This dude looks like some Italian who you better don't underpay for his pizza. Look how he looks. Yep. The problem is these German soldiers always look cringe if they just have pants that don't match the camo outfit, which you obviously would not wear in real life. At least you would avoid it as much as possible, because this sharp contrast makes you instantly visible. Instantly visible. It's just horrible. And yeah, for some reason German soldiers enlisted always look like that. Alright. Yeah, so there's going to be more customization. Not much more, but at least a bit. Alright, good, fine. And you can expect more soon. Yes, the cringe word that Gaijin loves. But this is actually true because, yep, this week is gonna be filled with new updates, especially about the upcoming big update in less than 1 month, because it's about to be Christmas time. So, yeah, prepare for, I call it here, for Manchuria. Yep. Let me know what you think. I won't yep anymore. This was already very long, so it's time for you to start talking and expressing your opinions in the comments below. And of course, like the video. And share it with others, and subscribe if you're new, and even join the stream today, where we're gonna play some fun squads. Until soon, goodbye.